It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Sunday, the 10th of August. I'm Michael Groff. It's muggy out there again today. Chances of showers and thunderstorms, are they in the forecast? I mean, it sure feels like a monsoon day. Well, the answer may surprise you. We'll talk about that. Now, the beginning of this upcoming week looks relatively dry for us, but the weather pattern is going to make a decided change as we get toward the latter half of the week. Increasing monsoon moisture, chances of afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms coming into the mix. Maybe a pretty good chance, at least relatively speaking, given how dry it's been this summer here in the lower deserts by late this week. And temperatures, yes, it has been brutally hot for a while, but we do see signs that temperatures will be headed down as moisture levels come up. We see more clouds and those rain chances coming in. How low will those temps get? We'll talk about all of that and everything else as we dive on in just a moment. Hey everyone, it's Michael Groff here to talk to you about your roof. With all the extreme weather we have in Arizona, you need a name you can trust, and that's why you should call Blackstone Roofing Group for all of your roofing needs. Call for your free inspection today. Big or small, they do it all. Tile, shingle, or flat roofing, they can help. Offering free inspections and more. Roofing made easy. Call 602-536-9363 or visit blackstoneroofinggroup.com to schedule your free inspection today. And if you tell them Michael Groff sent you, they'll take $500 off the price of your roof replacement. Again, that's 602-536-9363 or blackstoneroofinggroup.com. All right, let's get to it. The Almanac from yesterday, we did it again, 110 degrees the afternoon high after a very warm morning low of 92. Just missing that record for the warmest low temperature of 93, set all the way back last year. 105 and 84 the averages for this time of year. 114 that record high from 2012. As we take a look outside right now at 11:25 a.m., mostly sunny sky. We're sitting at 99 degrees at Sky Harbor. Yeah, it's a bit muggy though. Dew point up at 61. Relative humidity 29%. The winds are light and the barometer is steady. Satellite picture out here across the southwest. And we put that in motion. You can see high pressure is located well off to the north and west of us over California and the Great Basin. The flow aloft is mostly out of the north, which is pretty much opposite of what you want for the monsoon. Nevertheless, with some surface moisture around today and a few showers and thunderstorms expected to pop up over the mountains north of us, with that northerly flow, we could see a few storms trying to get into the lower deserts this afternoon. What are those chances? Again, we'll take a look at that in modeling here in just a moment. Here's the watch warning map. We've got heat. That's the big story over some parts of the country. Oklahoma, some of the adjacent states, some heat advisories there. Now, obviously for us here in Phoenix, we've got that extreme heat warning. That's through 8 p.m. on Tuesday, as well as over the Mojave Desert, the Las Vegas Valley. Yeah, it's going to be sizzling hot there as well. We've got those air quality alerts over parts of Minnesota, actually the entire state of Minnesota, and a flood watch for portions of Iowa, Illinois, and Wisconsin. A flood warning is ongoing for the Milwaukee area. That's through 7 p.m. Central Time this evening. They had to cancel the Wisconsin State Fair as a result of the flooding the other day. And of course, that's ongoing right now. That's still they're still reporting light rain as of the time I'm doing this update. So that flood warning will continue. It's been pretty devastating in southeast Wisconsin. Here is the convective outlook for today. We've got the standard slight risk of severe storms over portions of Colorado, Kansas, extreme northeast New Mexico, the Oklahoma Panhandle there, and the broader marginal risk for the central and southern Rockies all the way up to around Milwaukee, where some gusty winds to around 60 miles per hour could be possible with the strongest storms, some hail as well. In Arizona, how about that? A marginal risk, level 1 out of 5. The areas in the darker green in the southeastern portion of the state, Tucson, Marana, Nogales, Sierra Vista. Certainly could see the strongest storms producing, again, wind gusts to around 60 miles per hour. The two criteria that make up a severe storm by definition are either hail reaching the ground that's an inch in diameter or greater, or thunderstorm winds or wind gusts, sustained winds or wind gusts that exceed 57 miles per hour. And so we could see that in parts of southeast Arizona. The rest of the state, or at least most of the rest of the state, in the green, so thunder is possible. I'd say the threat, again, here in Phoenix is very small, but it certainly isn't zero this afternoon. And those storms could produce some brief gusty winds lightning is the most likely outcome of that, those gusty winds and blowing dust, but maybe a few spots could pick up some rain as well. Precipitation outlook valid through next Sunday morning from the WPC. Rain amounts in Phoenix anywhere from 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. But hey, amounts maybe close to 2 inches over portions of southern and southeast Arizona during the next 7 days, with a broader area of about 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch for the central and eastern rim, the White Mountains, and portions of southern Arizona as well, mainly over the higher terrain, as confidence is increasing that we're actually going to see some monsoon moisture and chances of storms over a fair portion of the state for really the first time this summer. I know we've had a few thunderstorms around here and there this season, but we just haven't had that big thunderstorm outbreak. It's been a dud of a season. We all know that. Could that change? Let's talk about it right now as we get to the models, see what the future may hold. Here we go. It's the GFS, the 12Z run valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. The upper look at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet off the ground. All right, high pressure is out there over the East Coast, the eastern part of the country. We've still got that trough in the nation's midsection coming out of the Rockies and a big ridge over the Northeast Pacific extending down toward the Great Basin. We are on the southeastern flank of that. The flow aloft here is more out of the north. So what it means down at the surface for the rest of the day today. Yeah, we're expecting mostly sunny sky this morning, some clouds this afternoon. It's still going to be muggy and high temperatures anywhere from 106 to 110. Now, we do expect to see at least some widely scattered showers and thunderstorms firing up over the mountains north and east of Phoenix, as well as parts of southeast Arizona. And with that northerly flow, a few of those storms are going to try their best to get into the lower deserts. The problem is, despite the fact that it's fairly muggy down here at the surface, that moisture is rather shallow, and above us, there's a capping inversion. It's the same story we've had for quite a while. Warm air aloft, warm, dry air aloft. It's a killer for any storms that come in here. But let's take a look anyway. This is our high-resolution rapid refresh model, the simulated radar product at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And at that time, you could see storms, a few scattered storms lined up north of us. And they will be coming this way. Whether or not they make it in here remains to be seen. Now, because of the structure of the atmosphere right now, the old inverted V shape to the sounding, with somewhat drier air down here closer to the surface. I know dew points are high, but generally speaking, in that 5 to 10,000 foot layer and up, it's pretty dry. So as thunderstorms kind of come into contact with this air mass, they collapse quickly. We see some strong outflow boundaries surging with that. And so as a result, we could see gusty winds, some blowing dust, and again, a stray storm in the lower deserts in the Phoenix area cannot be ruled out in this kind of a setup. So as a result, we'll put a 10% chance of storms into the forecast for this evening. Otherwise, for tonight, partly cloudy. Overnight lows will generally be in the 80s for most of us, around 90 or so in the urban core. Then for tomorrow, again with northerly flow and less thunderstorm activity expected during the day, I expect we'll just be mostly sunny and hot with highs anywhere from 107 to 111. 108 to 112 on Tuesday with mostly sunny sky in the morning and a few clouds in the afternoon. We will see maybe a few thunderstorms develop over the central and eastern Mogollon Rim, and with the ridge kind of on the move and the flow aloft more northeasterly, those could be pushed to the lower deserts. And again, kind of like today, very small chance we could see a thunderstorm in here on Tuesday, late afternoon, Tuesday evening. More than likely, that would produce gusty winds, some blowing dust, but I suppose somebody could pick up some rain out of that. But the forecast after this turns more interesting. Yes, there's still some uncertainty as to exactly how this develops, but there is better agreement in the models that by Wednesday, somewhat deeper monsoon moisture starts to come in here. We'll call it partly cloudy, and a slight chance of afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms here in the lower deserts. Still, of course, the better chances will be over the higher terrain of northern and eastern Arizona, the southeastern part of the state as well. But moisture levels are increasing, so temperatures are going to start to head down. Highs maybe pretty close to 110. Here's Thursday. Moisture increases a little bit more. Scattered afternoon and evening showers and storms over the higher terrain. Widely scattered thunderstorms in the lower deserts. We're going to start to bump those rain chances up a little further. We go from the 10 to 20% bracket Wednesday to kind of about that 30% bracket Thursday, especially afternoon and evening. So it's getting more interesting here. Now as we go to Friday, the ridge is sitting somewhere near the Four Corners or across southern Colorado. And so the flow is out of the southeast, and much deeper moisture is in here now for scattered afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. This is probably our best opportunity for precipitation. We've been talking about this for a couple of days now, and this sure looks like it's on the table. Again, very consistent messaging in the models. Now, yes, we've been sold a bunch of fool's gold on these models throughout the season. We have seen this advertised even as close as 5 days out, and then it just either doesn't come to fruition or it's much more muted than originally thought, and that could still very well happen. So, I'm not here to oversell anything to you. I'm just telling you what the models are showing here, and that is pretty good chances of showers and storms. Now, ordinarily, in any other monsoon season, or at least any other monsoon season of years past that aren't in this decade, I would have probably bumped these rain chances way up. But given what we've seen so far, we're still keeping it in the 30 to 40% bracket here in the lower deserts for Friday. And that just seems wise, given that, this has just been such a dreadful monsoon season, and we just can't seem to get consistent southeast flow for any prolonged period of time. Now, with all that having been said, we could also see a weak disturbance or an inverted trough rotate in here. We don't see that advertised right now, but that's certainly possible. You never know. Those features do sometimes just come into the mix. They certainly aren't always advertised several days out. All right, so at this point, temperatures are down even further. Highs probably anywhere from about 101 to 105, which is pretty close to seasonal averages, actually. So we would, at some point this week, we're going to break our streak of 110-degree days, and that's a good thing. All right, now here's Saturday, and I will say that we've got troughing over the Pacific Northwest. That's initially what's going to push this ridge from the Great Basin eastward to the Four Corners region and help to give us more monsoon moisture, but the trough giveth, the trough taketh away, as the flow aloft will start to turn more southwesterly. And so somewhat drier air is going to come in, but it looks like this system is going to be relatively progressive. So even though it will dry out, that may not last all that long. High temperatures, though, with the presence of the trough and the weakening ridge, still probably only in the upper 90s to about 104 degrees. That's not bad either. Let's keep going. A week from today, this is Sunday, the 17th. And again, that trough it's not going to stick around long. The ridge is going to start to build back in. Maybe not so much by Sunday, but I would still say at least a slight chance of afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms will be present over the mountains. I don't think we'll see anything here in the lower deserts just yet, but maybe by Monday the 18th we will, as the ridge is building back in. Same for the end of the forecast period, Tuesday the 19th. Ridge somewhere in the vicinity of the Four Corners, and that would set the stage for scattered afternoon and evening showers and storms. Now, the ridge may get to be a little stronger, and so that could limit at least somewhat the amount of storms, but at least it's in a more favorable position, so at least there'll be those small chances of storms in the afternoon and evening hours. And temperatures will warm up once again. We know it's still the month of August. After all, we can't rule out additional 110-degree days. But I don't see any 116s or 117s or 118s on the horizon, at least not for a while, hopefully not for the rest of the season. We are getting into mid and late August, and 2024 notwithstanding, that is just not a typical thing to see out at this point in the summer. All right, looking at precipitation here. Rainfall for Phoenix, this goes out through the 24th of the month. This is off of the GFS ensemble. Again, as has always been the case with this, it's almost a meme at this point. The ensemble mean roughly a half an inch. Every member shows precipitation over the next couple of weeks, but the European AI ensemble, while not quite as bullish as the GFS in terms of ensemble mean, Kind of the same deal, though. Every single member shows precipitation over the next couple of weeks. So confidence is increasing that we will see some activity here. It's the monsoon. We all know it's hit and miss. We all know that some of you will get precipitation, some of you won't, but at least the idea that some of you will is encouraging. All right, looking at temperatures off the national blend of models, the trend is going to be down this week. In fact, the coolest, if you want to call it that, part of our forecast period looks to be sometime Friday or Saturday, with highs right around seasonal averages, and then maybe warming up as that ridge rebuilds back across the southwest. Let's check out the Climate Prediction Center outlook, the CPC outlook. This is for the 8 to 14 day period. That's August 17th through the 23rd. Temperatures across most of the nation actually look to be above average. The probability is heavily skewed toward that. Same thing here in Arizona. Probability is we'll have temps above average. Precipitation, kind of like what we were looking at yesterday. Below average precipitation up in the extreme northwestern corner of the state, near average for most. Above average is slightly favored, probability-wise, for parts of southern Arizona. We will take that. If we can actually see some average to even above average precipitation, given that this is our wettest time of the year, historically speaking, that sounds good to me. All right, that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you really enjoy what we do here, you want to support the channel, please do. Helps us out a lot by clicking that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube. Make that contribution to us, or even better than that is if you donate to us via PayPal. Groffshow@gmail.com is that PayPal address. It's GROFF show@gmail.com for PayPal, or our Venmo is also linked up down there. Check all that out. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out, blogs, videos, everything Michelle related. Likely Adriana related. It's all linked up down in the description, so check all of that out. Our streaming station, it's available 24/7, 365. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music over there, have a lot of fun. That's also linked up in the description. Yes, it's a multimedia empire. So much entertainment to be had here. What else could you possibly want? And so we have all that linked up. And you know what else we have linked up down in the description? It's perma-linked, and that is our friend Dan over at the Courtroom Files YouTube channel, The Courtroom Files. Check him out. We've had some nice feedback, actually, in our email about Dan. And look, my promotion, I love Dan, and I really love his channel, and it's great content, but it's a little bit self-serving because you can also see me over there on the Courtroom Files YouTube channel every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. East, 5 Pacific, for a show we call Sidebar. And you know, it's great, and it's different content from what we do here, and that's also wonderful. So if you want to see us talk about other stuff, LawTube stuff, just a bunch of folks that really enjoy each other's company, and we have spirited discussion. And it's lively, it's entertaining, and it's just, I don't know what else to tell you. It's great. I hope you check it out. Sidebar, 8 p.m. East, 5 Pacific, over on the Courtroom Files YouTube channel. Okay, that's it. That's it for the plugs. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. All right, all that you guys do to help us out, it's amazing. So thank you. All right. Please, we want you to be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there. Have yourselves a delightful rest of your Sunday.